this game. So bishop c4, bishop's opening, and we develop the knight. That's correct. Knight h3. Well, this move is not good according to the principle in opening. So pieces should be getting close to the center, so we can have a good control of the center if we involve pieces close to it. So for example, knight f3 is clearly better than knight h3. And when I see this move from opponent, I would think, well, maybe white want to push the f pawn. It's not necessary to say pawn to f4 is a good move, but we should anticipate based on the move from opponent. But f4 it doesn't matter much. We can play d6 to support e5 if we want to. And there's a problem with moving the knight to h3. Actually, that is the e4 pawn is losing. Is Hanyin, so we can actually win the pawn. So we didn't take pawn, we move bishop to c5, knight to g5, and we castle. Okay, there's no problem. We castle, we have two pieces, protect f7, and the white play d3, knight c6, knight c3, and actually we can play h6 to kick knight back. We play a6, knight to a4, b5. Well, yeah, so we have to be aware the purpose of our opponent. So knight a4, I will ask myself, if I play as white, if I play as black, what is purpose as move? And after asking myself this question, it's not hard to see the knight is kicking my bishop. So it's better to move my bishop away. If I play b5, so actually after the bishop take the pawn, take the pawn is not the best move, but because we can check the king, but white can take this pawn with a check, and if we take that, white can also take the bishop, so white can win the pawn. And white didn't do that. That's not the best move. d6, move knight back to b3, knight d4. Okay, so we lost another pawn. So yeah, we should just keep developing pieces, or h6, kick the knight away, and bishop to g4 to pin the knight. And we lost another pawn, bishop to b7, e5, take the pawn. I will move queen to e7 to pin the pawn and win this pawn. And also our bishop is attacking g2. So yeah, we actually can win at least one pawn back. But after taking the pawn, white can change with our queen and castle. White made a mistake, that's a blunder. Rook e8 also. We pinned the queen and we won a huge advantage. Bishop back, c5, trade the rooks, queen f8. I think queen d7 is better because the queen can be more active here than being at f8. Knight d5. Be aware of this g7 because, as I said, look at the purpose of this bishop d4. It's aiming at g7. So f6 is definitely what I would do. So yeah, it's a little bit problematic if white take the g7 pawn. So I didn't do that. Okay, winning the pawn, back. Okay, the knight involved. f6 is still the best defense. Bishop f3, well, that's mistake. If knight take the pawn, we will lose the game because the knight, there's a discovered attack, and the bishop controlling this diagonal, we are losing. If we move bishop to queen e7, this is still a mate. Knight is control f8, our king cannot escape. If f5, so I think we will lose a queen. Yeah, so we'll lose the game. But white didn't do that. That's unfortunately for our opponent. So after all the exchange, we get huge advantage. Yeah, and white resigned.